Hey, welcome back to Queen's Roots. My name is Queen Mother. I am your spiritual and metaphysical teacher, and here on my channel I guide you along your spiritual journey to help you reconnect with who you really are and learn how to use those metaphysical tools to help you create the life that you desire to live. Now, in today's topic, this is part 3 of the Twin Flame Union series, and in this series we're talking about what twin flames are. I've already told you how to identify the different stages of a twin flame, how to identify a twin flame, and then I also gave you my story on meeting my twin flame. Now, before we get down to you actually meeting my twin flame, I wanted to kind of talk to you about the roles that your twin flame is going to play in your life if you choose not to move on as a romantic capacity in your life. Now, the inspiration for this video came from my personal life and my personal experience, and I noticed that if I was having the same problems, I reached out to one of my friends and she too said that she kind of experienced the same bit of problems within her journey. Although the guy that she was referencing was not her twin flame, but she also understood that, like, the complexities of being in a twin flame relationship and understanding how it plays in your current relationships. Now, if you choose to, this doesn't matter, it doesn't apply to sex or sexual orientation, but if you choose to, or you've been in a position where you had romantic feelings for your twin flame, or you guys connected perhaps sexually, then this video will apply to you, because you're going to want to know how to continue your twin flame relationship if you choose to think that the twin flame is not the person that you want to be with as your life partner. Now, the first tip that I'm going to give you in dealing with a twin flame is understanding, first you're going to need to understand your role and dynamic between you and your twin flame. There needs to be a clear and concise conversation between you and your twin flame to identify what your roles are going to be, the level of respect that's going to be there. And if you two are separating and continuing platonically, then there needs to be an understanding of how much, being honest, how much is going to be released, and making sure that everybody is in and on the same page. Okay, don't try to have your cake and eat it too. Be respectful of your twin flame, be respectful of yourself, and be respectful of the partner that you're choosing to move on with. If you're in a situation where your partner, your twin flame, may not be ready to move on because your twin flame wants to be with you, you have to make sure that you guys have a true understanding of what the expectations are for your relationship. Now, the second tip I'm going to give you is making sure that you are being honest. You're sharing those expectations with your partner. Now, say for instance, you met your twin flame and you guys decided that you do not want to continue romantically. For whatever reason, you don't want to continue romantically. Acknowledging that those feelings were there, you had those moments, you were sexually involved, you were in a relationship, or whatever may have happened, acknowledge that. So when you get into a new relationship and you're dating, you don't want to be misleading and say, hey, this is my friend, knowing that there is something there, because that energy is always going to be there and it's going to manifest its way somewhere in your life. At some point in your relationship, that energy will manifest itself, and you don't want your partner to feel inferior. You don't want your partner to be suspect of any assumptions, or have the wrong assumptions, or anything, or just accusing you of something that's not there, because they're misreading the energy that's being misplaced. Okay, so make sure to be honest. Now, step 3, don't overly indulge your partner. Now, me personally, like dating and relationships, I'm curious about, I'm really weird about people's relationships generally. Like, I like watching humans. I know you can see people who like go to the park and they like to watch people. I don't necessarily like to watch people. I like to see how other people's relationships work. How do they coexist? How do they do these things? How do certain things do? Why do people think the way they think? Why do people, like, that's me. I'm like the mechanical part of it. Like, I want to know how this works. I want to know how these people get together. I want to know how their relationship was. I am genuinely curious, but I don't allow that curiosity to carry over into my relationships or dating. So if I ask questions. If I do, I typically try not to ask questions of my person that I'm dating of their previous relationship, because it's over. If that person wants to talk about it, I'll then talk about it, but I don't let them overly excessively talk about it, because it's kind of disrespectful to me to always have to hear you talk about your ex. Now, what I will do is, if we are in a comfortable place, I will ask questions, like, you know, perhaps questions like, not necessarily about her, but what was your experience when you were doing these things with her? Or what were your thoughts when you did these things with her? Or if the person is telling me something about that happened, well, what were your feelings? What was her response to you feeling that way? You know, so I can better understand you and how you how you respond to things and why you respond to things, and not necessarily get obsessively focused on the ex. There are a lot of people out there who obsessively focus on the ex, and it causes problems because you start basing your value and your worth based on the last relationship. So then you're creating this energy, and that's going to eventually manifest, and you're constantly reminding your present dating person you're dating about their ex, because you won't let it go, and you're stalking them on Facebook and Instagram and things like that. So I don't do that. But when you're in a relationship and you're bringing your twin flame along with you, like I said, that energy doesn't go anywhere. And so you don't want to have to deal with overtelling too much information to your new partner. Just tell the partner, this is someone I have a very strong connection with. We have a very good working connection. We're very respectful. We dated a while ago. We did, you know, if you want to tell them how long ago it was, but just say we are truly platonic friends. It's not going to work that way. It should work, you know, we should be able to be friends. I wouldn't go into details about this being a mirror image of you. I would not use the term that this is your twin flame. I would not tell them information about your experience and how connected you guys are, how much you have in common. You guys, I made this mistake, so this is why I'm telling you this. I would not say any of this stuff, because what it does is that person that you're dating begins to have these conversations in their head, and they begin to put this other person on a pedestal. And despite you saying, like, I don't want to be with that person, I don't want to do these things with this person, I'm choosing you, they're going to obsessively compare themselves to your twin flame, and they're going to constantly probably put you in a position where if you were to talk to your twin flame, the jealousy, the questions, the insecurity comes into place, or they're going to start trying to divide a wedge between you and your twin flame. So I would not use the words twin flame, because you don't want to make it more than what it seems. A little bit can be hidden. So I wouldn't use those terms. I would just say, hey, this is my friend, this is my partner. Yes, we were dating. Now, I will always disclose that. I don't want to be, me personally, if you have a friend that you've been sexually involved in, I don't want to be meeting your friends and you've dated this person sexually involved and y'all know it and I don't know it. Like, at least let me know. Like, okay, I know that you were involved with this woman before me. You guys are still friends. I still trust you, but, you know, I trust you, but I'm glad that you let me know that this is someone that you were previously involved with before. So that way, if I see that energy picking up, I'm not like misreading it or people giving me the wrong information. Okay, so do not overly explain everything about your connection with your twin flame to your new partner. Now, the second part to that is going to be, if you have an old partner, as in I did, and you decide to get back with an ex. So in my situation, I've been with my ex for, what was it, 5 or 6 years, I think we were together. We were together for 6 years. So he pretty much knew the ins and outs about me. He knew everything about me. He knew about who my friends were. So when I came back and he noticed like there was this big change about me, there was this, you know, everything was different. And it was thanks to my union with my twin flame that I grew, and things were different. But for him, I had to tell him, because I could not come in and say, okay, I think I might want to date you again, but I'm not going to disclose who this person is in my life. It's a little bit being dishonest. So make sure, if you are dating your ex again, and your ex realizes you have this new partner, this new friend, make sure, like I said, don't tell too much information, but be honest, be upfront. This is somebody I met while I was away from you. He is a friend. We did date, we did have sex or whatever, but it's nothing like that. I'm choosing to move forward with you. You don't have anything to worry about. Now, there are some people that's easier said than done. There are people who get very jealous, very intimidated, and they want to possess their partner. That is not a healthy situation to be in. If your partner cannot respect that you have a platonic friend, then you need to probably reevaluate your relationship with that partner. Now, I want to come back to this at the end, so hold your seats right there, okay? Before we continue, comment down below if you've been experiencing this situation so far, where you've had a twin flame, you guys are not together, but then you have a new partner and it's causing problems in your relationship. I want to know all about it down in the comments, okay? Now, so the next tip I'm going to have with you is to kind of chill out. You're going to have to set some boundaries. So setting boundaries with your twin flame, if your twin flame is used to having access to you all the time, you're going to have to set some boundaries. That goes back to tip number 1, making sure you guys are very clear about your expectations for your relationship going forward. Now, when you look at when you're dealing healing and you're working with your twin flame and you want to work with your twin flame, try to make sure that your twin flame is incorporated into your family life. If you're dating again and this is really a friend, invite him to events. Let your spouse see you guys together without being intimidated about your relationship. Let him see you guys together without a crowd. Let him see how you guys interact with the crowd, so your spouse or your partner cannot be doubly intimidated because you have a different connection. Make sure everybody knows each other. They can talk to each other. They can, interact with each other. I always say this: you may be the key to those two being the best of friends. You never know. So don't turn it off because you're like, I don't want him to meet him because I was with him. I think at this point we're all pretty mature to understand that, we don't possess and we have no control over our spouses or anyone at that matter. So it is okay if your spouse was with someone else before or after you. There's no need to act weird about it. Okay, so the last tip that I'm going to give you is simply this: protect yourself in the process. You're going to probably have to deal with a lot of ego work. So being that you've come into contact with your twin flame, you've already been doing some healing, you've already been changing your perspective, you're going to have to understand that your partner that you choose to date may not and will not be on the same level as you and your twin flame are. So there are going to be times that you're going to go through things that you may want to be vulnerable with your partner with, but your partner may not be able to fully understand or help you. That's where your twin flame will come in. But you have to be mindful, because you don't want your partner to feel as if you're giving more attention and being more vulnerable with your twin flame. So find a nice balance, but protect yourself in the process. Consider what needs to be talked with your partner, and consider what needs to be talked with your spouse, with your twin flame. And what I mean by protect yourself is you're going to need to protect your energy, because you're going to have to still at some point in time deal with the ego. And this is what I want to say, you guys: the ego is battling between your partner's ego and your twin flame's energy with you. They're going to battle, and you're going to have to be strong enough to withstand the distance and withstand the bullshit. And you're going to need protection in the process, because they're not going to be thinking about their roles for you. They're going to be thinking about, hey, I'm an ego man and I'm an ego man, and you said this to me, you did this to me, you're in my girl face. They're going to be competitive. So they're going to be combative. So protect yourself however you feel fit. Be honest with yourself. If you feel like you are just maybe having maybe an emotional affair with your twin flame, and your husband or wife or girlfriend or boyfriend are having a problem with that, be honest about it. Explain that to them. Listen, I don't feel like I can connect with you emotionally or talk to you about some things that I can probably talk to him about, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm leaving you for my twin flame. Now, you guys, when I came, like I said, this was an inspiration because of my personal journey. When I met my twin flame, I met my twin flame in the process of breaking up with my ex. Although my ex and I were not 1000%, I think we didn't have closure, we didn't clear the air. We kind of just broke up in anger and kind of separated, and he just refused to talk to me. So no one left the grounds done. And because we had a kid, we couldn't necessarily completely separate from each other. We still had to kind of deal with each other. When my ex came back into my life and wanted to continue his role as my partner, I had to introduce my twin flame. And it became a big deal because he saw just how important my twin flame was to me. And my ex didn't handle it well, because the level of importance and the level of love and how protective I was of my twin flame in our connection was the same amount of love and consideration that I had put towards our connection when we were just friends. So it was a little intrusive for him. It felt like it was a situation between like how he and I initially, sorry you guys, how he and I initially started off. So I had to constantly like remind him, no, it isn't like that. No, this is not what I'm choosing to do. Yes, I'm choosing to be with you again. I'm trying to make this work for our family. Yes, my twin flame wants to meet you. He wants to, you know, he's very open about meeting you. He's respectful of my boundaries. If I say we're not going to be together and I want to date my ex, he's respectful of that. He's like, okay, but I'm not going to let you go because you're still my friend. You still bring value to my life. You're still so much more to me. And because eventually it caused so much of a problem, I started having to feel like I had to choose between the two. And the reality was, I cannot no longer see myself away from my twin flame, if that makes sense to you guys, which it should, because I've already explained all of this. So I couldn't see myself away from it. And my biggest confusion is I called one of my friends because I was like, I just don't understand why he can't respect the fact that if me and my twin, as two adults, are being honest about our relationship, and we're being honest about everything that has happened, transpired between us, and that we are going forward as friends because it's not going to work for us in a relationship, I don't understand why he won't accept that. And it was more so of the ego. It was more so of, you're my girl, why should he have you? Why are you going to choose him over me? Why won't you just let him go? And it was not necessarily because I just made a new friend, and especially when I had to disclose that I was, you know, involved with this other person sexually, so it just really made it even worse. But I look at things differently, and so does my twin. Honestly, I look at things differently. I've always looked at this differently. and I think about this honestly. When going in any relationships, I am the new person coming in. I can't come into your life and dictate who you're supposed to talk to. I can't tell you who's supposed to be in your life and who's not supposed to be in your life. No, these people were here before me. These relationships require work, and you put in the work and you've established these relationships. It is so unfair of me to come in demanding of your time and deciding who's supposed to be in your life. Now, if I'm coming into your life, I'm coming into your life as a woman who's embracing your life. As long as I feel as you're being honest and upfront with me, then I'm okay. If you're consistently saying, hey, I dated this girl, it didn't work out, we had sex a couple of times, or I hooked up with this girl, it didn't work out, it was nothing more between us, it was a nice fling or whatever, I'm kind of over her, she over me, she's married, she's in a relationship, I'm good, you know? Or even if she's single, if you're like, this is truly my friend, we tried it romantically, it didn't work out, I'm going to trust you until you give me evidence to believe otherwise. I'm going to trust you, and I'm not going to ever come in and make you choose, oh, you got to choose him or you got to choose her over me. That's not my place, and I'm not going to be so insecure to feel threatened by it. No other woman is going to threaten my role in your life. Now, if you don't want me to fulfill that role, then I'm going to exit the scene. Now, I'm not going to fight with you. I'm not going to fight with another woman. If you don't want me to fulfill those roles and those duties for you, I'll exit on to the left, right? To the left, to the left. So, you know, I look at things differently. Whereas certain people just felt like, you know, you can't, no matter how much of a relationship you have, you can't be with them. And I think that's why I fought tooth and nail for my ex, because we were genuinely friends when we first met. Though we did like each other, though we did, you know, we did have feelings for each other, but it just never worked out that way. And I was always in a freaking relationship. So it just really was, he missed this opportunity, and I wasn't going to ruin my friendship because we were friends. Like, we didn't do anything extra, you know. And when we got to the level of becoming something more, I exit the relationship that I was in because I didn't want to be unfair to whoever I was dating. And I took that time for myself. I did not get in a relationship with him right away. I took my time for myself. And then I think within like a year or so, then I started to date him. But then even then, when we did start dating, everybody was like, I knew it, you guys were always together. And it was just like, no, we were really friends. And it turned into something, you know, in the right time, it turned into something more. And even with my twin flame, I always tell them, like, listen, if I'm choosing to date someone else, that's just my choice. You're going to be here. I'll be honest about my role with you. Now going forward, I don't think I will be as honest, to be honest. I'll just say this is just my friend. I don't think I would, I don't know, I would have to, because you know, my twin and I say I love you like a lot. Although it's not always like a romantic type of, oh, I love you, baby, kind of thing. It really is like an I love you. But we always talk about making sure whenever we get into the next relationship that we're open and honest with our partners about our dynamics and understanding, and, you know, kind of just to make everybody feel at ease and to be honest. Now, the biggest part is being honest to an extent, because sometimes some people just can't. I'm too honest, I'm too forthcoming, and I get myself in a lot of shit because people can't handle what comes out of my mouth. And I'm like, okay, I fessed up to what I did, you know. And just like, you know, for instance, things took a different route, and I had to be honest with my twin flame about some stuff that I was doing. And although I knew it hurt him and it hurt his feelings, he didn't take it out on me negatively like most people, because he understood. He was angry with the situation. He was angry that I did some stuff that I did. But I had to understand, and he had to understand some things. And it was just like, okay, we're not together. You know, we had to kind of be honest. And even though I am too forthcoming, the right people respect what I say. They're like, I know Queen is going to be honest. I know she's going to tell me this stuff. So I'm very respectful of it. And I'm learning with other people to just tell them what they need to know, what is important. If I was in their shoes, yes, and if they can't handle it, then that is that. But I'm no longer putting myself in a position where I'm allowing someone else to make me choose between them or someone else. Now, that is typically how you should handle it. Just try to make sure you keep a balance between the two relationships. Be honest, be yourself, and just kind of be open. You guys, it should not be this hard. We have to heal. I think when you heal yourself from breakups and being cheated on and other things, you can go into new relationships and embrace the non-traditional easily. But because we won't heal, because we won't forgive, because we're so caught up, oh my God, he cheated on me, that does not give you a badge to walk around the rest of your life despising every relationship or trying to tear down your new partner's previous relationships. Okay, do some self-work, do some self-healing. Don't let somebody else intimidate you. Now, if they're being disrespectful or crossing those lines, then that's room for a conversation. All right, you guys, this is all for today in love and light. I love you so much. I hope you have a beautiful and prosperous week wherever you are, and salutations, because it's about my bedtime. If, like I said, if you've gone through this before, meet me down in the comments. I can't wait to see what it is that you're going to share with me in your twin flame journey and dealing with an ex or currently dating with your twin flame. All right, bye.